The following program is brought to you in part by Fin and Feathers on Edgewood Avenue here in Atlanta, where foodies delight and socialites come to play. Remember, Fin and Feathers. We hope to see you real soon. Welcome once again to Newsmakers Live. From the heart of Atlanta's historic Auburn Avenue district, Newsmakers Live is proud to present its 14th season of engaging conversations with our city's top policymakers. With just days until one of Atlanta's most hotly contested mayoral elections, Newsmakers Live provides this rare opportunity to meet our candidates in one-on-one conversations. And now, the moderator for our program, 8-time Emmy Award-winning broadcast journalist and host of his own weekly online program, Talk to Me, here is Maynard Eaton.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Newsmakers Live. This is our 14th season. We've been interviewing local politicians, powerful politicians, throughout our entire program here. Today, we have a gentleman who may well be the next mayor of Atlanta. His name is Andre Dickens, City Councilman Andre Dickens, who's in a runoff now for November 30th, Election Day. Andre, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Maynard, and thank you for this great programming that you provide the citizens of Atlanta.
It seems like you narrowly made the runoff, Councilman Dickens. Now, seemingly, momentum has you in the lead. Polls suggest now you're leading a runoff race. What do you attribute that to?
My alarm going off. So I attribute it to the citizens of Atlanta, really being able to see my platform and hear me clearly, as opposed to when I was kind of drowned out in 14 people. So the individuals that went and voted for me on Election Day, they are diehard Andre Dickens supporters. They heard my message and they really see me as the future for the city of Atlanta. And now with more ability to just communicate directly to the voters through debates and forums and interviews and also door knocking and phone calls, people are saying, wow, I really see that he resonates with me and he has a plan for my future. And so this direct contact has made all the difference. And the voters are seeing my history of success in doing programs, projects, and policies that made a difference in their lives.
When you speak about future, a recent Bill Torpy column suggests that Felicia Moore is steady as she goes. She gets things done. She is more today, but Andre Dickens is the man for the future. Are you saying the future is yours or today is yours?
Yeah, see, I think I'm both. Right now, we need a mayor that can deliver short-term success and also set a vision for the future for future success. So I'm ready day one. I've been on council for 8 years and I've always been a committee chairman. I've been on transportation committee and I've been the leader of the public safety committee when we brought violent crime down to the 40-year low. So I actually know what to do right now. And I also know what to do about setting our charting our path for the future. I'm in technology, as everyone knows. I'm an engineer from Georgia Tech, and I can make sure that we have balanced economic growth due to technology, where I'm training people for free to get high demand technology skills. Low income people now are in a pathway to prosperity, and companies are coming to Atlanta to plant their flag here for their headquarters or regional hubs. This is important work that I've been at the forefront of. And I've also been someone who's been really big on affordable housing and transportation. So no, I'm ready for now and the future. And I think that's a little difference between myself and my opponent, who doesn't have as much upside in terms of productivity for the future.
Affordable housing seems to be the most riveting issue to many folks I talk to. In fact, our director talks about in his apartment building, rents going up over $1,000 a month in the new year. People can't afford to live in Atlanta anymore. What's your answer to that, sir?
Yeah, since 2010, the cost of housing has gone up by 50% in Metro Atlanta, whereas only people's salaries have only increased by 10% for working folks. This is a problem where people are beginning to be cost burdened across the city, and it's happening to people that didn't even think they would one day be cost burdened. I remember in 2013 telling folks when I was running for office that we need more affordable housing and we needed more anti-displacement and anti-gentrification and home stabilization. And people were saying, I got enough affordable housing in my community. And I was saying then, keep on living, because this train is still coming where things are becoming more and more unaffordable. This is why I want to produce or preserve 20,000 units of affordable housing over the next 8 years. And this is my plan to build on Bankhead Course, Bourne Homes, Hollywood Course, Inglewood, and all of these Atlanta housing authorities, vacant land that's out there, as well as on our MARTA stations where we can build housing in the MARTA parking lots.
Has the train left the track? You mentioned Martin. Has the train left the track? Can we make Atlanta affordable again? Is this become really a tale of two cities, the haves and the have-nots? Or do you think you can rail that in?
Yeah, that's my goal. That's my fight. I believe we have to do all we can to not let this train completely leave the station. We must not become San Francisco, a place where
Yeah.
people drive in or ride in each day to serve those folks that live in the city, and then they have to go back at night because they can't afford to live there. Once upon a time, these places were mixed income communities where you could live and you would see the school teacher, the principal, and the janitor could all be in close proximity, and nobody knows whose kids are whose in terms of, oh, these are the affluent and these are the ones that are not so much. We have to continue to deal with affordable housing in two ways. One is to build more affordable housing aggressively. I know how to do that. Atlanta Magazine called me the affordable housing champ. I've had more policies and programs to help seniors stay in place, but also to develop new housing, which I've done over the past 8 years. So we're ready for more productivity and production of affordable housing because none has been built in 12 years on the Atlanta Housing Authority land. But the other side of the coin is the affordable part of housing is about income. Maynard, we have to get people's incomes up. We have to give people ladders to higher salaries because staying at minimum wage is not going to be sustainable for us going forward. We need to get people at middle incomes. This is why I train folks to get high-tech skills and they get great jobs. This is what I'm going to do with my Atlanta Department of Labor, where we're going to have apprenticeships, work with the unions and trades. Getting people to work at great incomes is going to solve our numerous problems that we have in homelessness, affordable housing, as well as crime.
Poverty, to me, is a riveting issue. We've heard the headlines about the water boards, but that's because they're poor, right? I mean, what are we going to do? There's a lot of poverty in Atlanta, well-to-do places as well, of course, but poverty still is an undercurrent of Atlanta's population, Black folks particularly.
Black folks, particularly. Yeah, we have a tale of two cities. We can be a Black Mecca with a lot of affluence in all sectors, but we still have a lot of multi-generational poverty. You're giving a 4% chance of making it from poverty to the upper middle class in Atlanta. Only a 4% chance. So we have the highest income immobility in the nation, meaning that you don't move up in Atlanta that easily. The rich stay rich and the poor stay poor is basically another way of saying it. So when I became the first in my family to go to college, when I entered Georgia Tech to get a chemical engineering degree, this changed everything about how my family operated. Then my cousins and family members started going to college. I was able to help them. I was able to provide savings for my daughter and things of that nature. We have to get people pathways out of poverty and into prosperity by training and by having great paying jobs. Remember, I'm the city council member that moved the city employees from $10 an hour to $15 an hour without a tax increase on the citizens. 8,500 people now work for the city and they all make over $15 an hour. And here we are, the national stage wants to, the Biden and others are saying, let's go to $15 minimum wage. Well, I did that here in the city for city employees. I care about the worker because I want to eliminate poverty. When we see all of this gentrification, it's because the people that have been living in Atlanta have less incomes than the people that are coming into Atlanta. We have to stop importing all of our talent, because people that can't afford to live in San Francisco and can't afford to live in New York, they're bringing their $150,000, $200,000 salaries here, and they're putting it right next to our grandparents and aunties who have
Yeah.
$30,000, $40,000. And this is a challenge because it causes their taxes to go up because of the appraised value. But I got a plan for that, which would be to lock down the assessed values on our legacy residents.
Wow. Andre Dickens, what has been your career since leaving Georgia Tech? I mean, you're an engineer. You speak about it a lot. All we've heard in the press is about a failed furniture business. But as an engineer, I'm sure you've done more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I graduated Georgia Tech, I went straight to work the very next week at Amoco. You know, that chemical and oil company. So I led complicated projects and managed teams that were in multiple locations. I also worked for a company called DSM Engineering Plastics, where I went from being an engineer to what we call a sales engineer. I went out there and sold the products, and I became salesman of the year. I was the youngest person and the only black person to become the salesman of the year for this multinational Dutch company that has billions of dollars in revenue. And I was the salesman of the year, and they gave me that. I earned that because I was honest and I was knowledgeable, is what my customers said when they asked him, why is Andre selling all this material? How is he doing so good? He's very knowledgeable and he's always honest, and we can trust him. So that was my career. And then I started a furniture business with my sister, and we started it from scratch, and we grew it to a multi-million-dollar business with 3 locations and dozens of employees. But then the Great Recession took us out after 10 years, and we closed the business, and I went on and worked at Georgia Tech, and then I ran for city council. And I've been a chief development officer for TechBridge for the last 6 years, and the rest is history. And the next part of my resume will say mayor of Atlanta.
One of your supporters, Pastor Darrell Winston, told me to ask you, he said, will you support round tech hubs around the city? He wants to know if that will be an avenue for many of these young people to rise up and be like you, an accomplished technical engineer type person. Engineering hubs for the youth and elderly.
Yes, I'm glad you added in there youth and young adults, as well as folks that are much older than 18 years old. So the answer is yes. And we need to use the lessons that we already currently have with the Gathering Spot, Hippopotamus, ATDC, switch yards and others, but we need them on the south side of town. So right now we have the At Promise Center, where my TechBridge technology program is at all 3 of the At Promise centers. One is in Vine City, one is down in Pittsburgh, and the other is going to open up real soon on Campbellton Road in Southwest Atlanta. This is a place where we train kids technology. I've been training kids how to code, do mobile app development, fly drones. And the thing they love the most, how I get them in, is we show them how to fix iPhones. When they all got a crack in their screen, we showed them how to fix that, and they can make $35 or $40 fixing people's phones. They won't stand on the corner to sell water if you can sit inside and make $120 fixing 3 phones. I'm telling you how to get that entrepreneur spirit mixed in with that STEAM technology experience. So when he asked the question of how to make sure, or are we going to have tech hubs, we have some, and we're going to have many more. My programs are for youth and young adults, but I have people that have gone through my program, lots of folks that are around 35, 45, even 50 years old, are learning how to do these technology skills that I have with Salesforce, ServiceNow, AWS, Microsoft. We get 3 certifications in 4 months. No matter how old you are, you can learn this stuff. Go to techbridge.org/TCP, and you will learn how to go into my free program. And we're doing it virtually now because of COVID, but we'll be back to in person at some point.
You can help a dummy like me learn that?
No, if you're smart enough to get to this point where you are, you can do it too.
Seriously, you mentioned you're a product of Southwest Atlanta. Will Southwest voters determine the outcome of this runoff race, or will it fall to Buckhead? Again, a tale of 2 cities, black and white. Where will your voting edge come from? What part of town do you think?
Yeah, I'm born and raised Southwest, so I'm going to get a lot of that vote because I've also nurtured it and supported it, and I do a lot of programs and really, just like I'm the transportation chairman. We just cut the ribbon and not cut the ribbon, but we just did the groundbreaking for Cascade Road. We are now going to have bike lanes, a sidewalk, paved Cascade Road with street furniture, street lights. People in Southwest love me, so I'm going to take care of that. We're going to have that vote. But it's more than a tale of two cities when it comes to these voters. Yes, it's a big block of voters in Buckhead, which I've nurtured, and I've been a citywide council member that's been voted on by Buckhead. In most of my races, they've always supported me, Southwest Atlanta. But there's a third component to Atlanta that a lot of people forget about, is that east side. Inman Park, Old Fourth Ward, Morningside, Virginia Highland, Grant Park, and Eastlake. Those folks love me because I've always talked about progressive movement of our city to make sure people have ladders of success and opportunity. My great relationship with the Atlanta public school system. A lot of those folks are great parents that care about their kids and the school system for everyone. So I've sown some deep seeds over there as well. And that's how I actually made it into the runoff. Was I had a lot of voters all across the city, and I'm quieter than some of my opponents were. My votes, I got them. We locked them in, and those people turned out to vote. And I plan to do the same thing on November 30th.
You're quieter, huh? I mean, you seem magnetic sometimes on camera and in person, but you do think of yourself as a quiet person, a quiet candidate? Is that how you see
Yeah.
yourself?
Well, I see myself as steady, and so I'm not noisy at all. People get excited about me when they meet me, and I get excited about them and the future of Atlanta. But I'm not a big noisy running around with a bullhorn on the back of a pickup truck, yelling at folks saying vote and playing a bunch of music and all that just to turn out the vote. What I am is somebody who says, let's look at the facts. Here's what I'm going to do, and here's what I have done. And I know the public here in Atlanta, they really respond to that well because they're like, I like what you're going to do, not just what you have said.
Finally, two other issues that have been taking up much of the press and the media time. Crime. Is that still the number one issue? And just hiring more police to answer. Police show up after the crime. I mean, what are you going to do to prevent the crime?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, yeah, I want a prosperous Atlanta and an equitable Atlanta that we've talked about, but we have to have a safe Atlanta, Maynard. So, crime is still top issue right now. Buckhead is talking about leaving because of crime. I know women that speak to me in Southwest Atlanta that say, I'm afraid to get gas at night. So we have to get crime down so people can have that quality of life that we all deserve and that we all want in the city. And so my plan is my Safe Streets plan, which has been vetted by former police chiefs across the nation. And it's a balanced approach to safety and justice. It'll basically hire 250 more officers because we're 400 short, but we're going to train those officers in the 21st century policing way, how to de-escalate activities and to also make sure that we have conflict resolution. And we're going to get those officers out of their cars, walking the beat, going to the gas stations and convenience stores and going to the shopping centers to be very visible. Visible officers are a deterrent for crime. We're also going to use technology like license plate readers, cameras, and street lights. I want 10,000 more street lights in the city to illuminate areas that are dark that causes crashes and crime. That's an overlay that I found that has occurred in our city where we're darkest in terms of lack of light. We have more incidents of crime and car crashes and pedestrian crashes. We're going to focus on our youth, get that youth crime down because 60% of the crime is conducted by the people that are under 25 years old. This is where we're going to win the war on crime, and this is where we're going to make sure that we flourish and have people moving into success.
Finally, Buckhead. Is that really a major problem? Do you think they're going to leave? Are we concerned about that? Will that really make a difference in the outcome of your campaign now? Buckhead's leaving or staying? Is that a major issue to polls, you think?
Yeah, I really want Buckhead to stay. Buckhead is a part of Atlanta, and I want one city with one future. I lived in Buckhead for 16 and a half years. I've lived in Southwest Atlanta, Northwest Atlanta, and Midtown. And we want to make sure all parts of our city still stays in our city. So Buckhead must stay. And what I do is I go up there and I talk to them often and I share my ideals, and they see that I'm a business leader, someone that can solve the city's problems, get this crime wave under control, and they would want to stay. So I've been asking the government, the governor, the Speaker of the House, Speaker Ralston. I've talked to several Republican and Democratic lawmakers to say, hey, give the new mayor some time to bring down this violent crime, to increase and improve the services that the city has when it comes to yard trimmings being picked up, potholes being filled. In about 120 days, they will see that this energetic mayor that's very hands-on, very knowledgeable, and capable of setting up a great team will be all about preserving this city's future together, with Buckhead being as a part of it and crime not being a part of it.
Andre Dickens is a journalist I can't endorse, although my partner Jim Welcome, a businessman, may well do that. But you have been endorsed by two former mayors, Mayor Shirley Franklin and Andrew Young. Does that mean something? That say something about you?
Yeah, and also I was also endorsed by Keisha Lance Bottoms. So I have 20 years of mayors at my that have endorsed me, and also that will be available for me to talk to in times of concern or curiosity that I have. So I got mayors to turn to, and they chose me. But also, Maynard, all city council members that have made an endorsement, they endorsed me. 6 city council members, and all school board members who did an endorsement, they endorsed me. And all Fulton County commissioners that did an endorsement, they endorsed me. That's 3 commissioners, several school board members, several state legislators, and also the DeKalb County Commissioner, Larry Johnson. I am flush with endorsements because people see me as a collaborator, someone who knows how to help us get to yes and not just always say no, someone who shows up for other people, shows up for other issues and concerns like Atlanta Public Schools or the county. I'm a collaborator, all for the benefit of the citizens of Atlanta. Those endorsements by mayors, council people, school board people, and commissioners and legislators matter because those people know good leadership, and they've chosen me to be the mayor of Atlanta.
We wish you the best, sir. Also, senior citizens matter. Please look out for us. God bless you. See you on election night. This has been Newsmakers Live.
Thank you. See you guys.